Baby, we're gonna make some stir fry. Things you'll need: a measuring cup, a rice cooker, a knife, a pan. The food you will need: peppers, mushrooms, broccoli, garlic, rice, or your choice of meat. Pre-cut, pre-cooked beef, just so you don't have to do anything to it. Let's get started. First, hold on, I forgot some things. Soy sauce, shoshu, whatever you want to call it. Whatever the fuck it's called, this is what you want. Vegetable oil. Don't leave home without it. Wait. No, you want to leave this at home. Don't leave home with it, I guess is what I wanted to say. And if you're lucky like you and me, we got a little bit of coconut oil left over. Very delicious in this. That's what I added the other day to it. Alright. Let's get started. It all depends on how much garlic you like. You can use 2, 1, 7 bulbs. I use just one when I'm cooking for myself. You want to take off the leaf here. Take the knife, right? Cut off that little end, as you see that end there. Slice right through it. Be careful the knife isn't all that sharp anymore. You want to peel this off. The best way to do that, little secret, give it a little smack. And that shit comes right off. Best way to cut these, you want to take your garlic. You want to get it as flat as you can. And you want to cut lengthwise, kind of thinly. If you can go 2 lines deep, that's great. If you can go 1, that's okay. Then you're going to want to cut slits into it, just like this. Alright? And then after that, you want to cut straight across those slits, so you get nice little dices right in there. I'm not sure how well you can see this, but there you go. That's the garlic. Set that aside. Next, doesn't matter what order you do any of this in. You can grab your bell peppers. You want to take those, you want to cut them up. Best way to do it, cut off the top. Bam, you have a nice little ring left over. Cut the bottom, you do save that, it's still good. Now, the best way to cut these is, see where the little white lines go into the middle there? You want to kind of go, you want to cut those out eventually, so what you're going to do is cut down around the pepper, much like that. Cut lengths. My favorite way is probably if you have about 1.5 inch length. I usually cut those in about half. Get next best thing to have with you, a bowl, so you can put everything in. Don't put the garlic in, that's going to be the first thing you throw into the pan. Maybe about 2 mushrooms per dish. What you do with the mushrooms, best way to cut them in half lengthwise, get the stem in there. Cut them so that, bam, bam, bam. Real simple. You don't want them so big, you want them kind of small. Nifty trick that I didn't do in the beginning of this video, but I'm doing it now. Get a towel, get it wet, put it down on the table first, pop the cutting board on top of that. It stays sturdy, it's not going to slide around. Now we're going to start cooking. First, you want to prepare your rice. Get your measuring cup. Always make more rice than you're willing to eat, because you can always eat it, save it for later. You want to fill that up to the 2-cup mark with any kind of rice. 2 cups, pour that in. Now, on the inside of your rice cooker, there's a 3-cup mark. You want to fill the water to the 3-cup mark. This part's easy peasy. You don't even have to worry about rice when you have a rice cooker. Put it in the rice cooker. Flip it to cook. Put a lid on it. Nothing else. Be done in 15-20 minutes. Now while your rice is cooking, you want to start cooking your vegetables. If you were to do this properly and you wanted to cook your own meat, you would cook the meat first. But since the meat is pre-cooked, we're going to cook it towards the end just to heat it through and with the vegetables. But the vegetables will take longer to heat up. About 2 to 3 tablespoons of oil. I like the fact that we have that coconut oil, so I'm going to add a little bit of that for some flavor in there. Of the stove on a medium-high heat. If you have an electric stove that's around 6 or 7, you see it's starting to get a little warm. You want to add your garlic. It'll start sizzling a little. That's good. It's going to get some aromas going. Get that. So give that a little swirl. Once you really start smelling some strong garlic, you want to make sure you're not going to burn it. So if it starts to, a few pieces start turning a little brown, that's when you want to add your vegetables to cool the pan down before the garlic burns. Give that a nice toss. You can take out your spatula and you can really just mix in the flavor, get those things going. You got mushrooms, broccoli, bell peppers. I always like to add onion, but since you don't like onion, I don't have onions in the house. So get that stirring, get that going. You always want to season to taste, so add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, soy sauce, really get those flavors working together. Once you feel that the food is getting warmer and starting to cook up, probably about like a minute, 2 minutes in, it's going to take a bit for the broccoli to cook to the way you like it. So add your meat. Couple pieces. This will add some more flavor to the dish. I push some of the vegetables aside so the meat can touch the bottom. You can slice up the meat if you wish. I'm just leaving it whole, letting them cook. You know, nothing much. More vegetables than meat is always great. Flip the meat every now and again, or if you cut up the meat into little strips, just keep the whole plate moving. I like to get them kind of dark on each side. So now you're going to want to crank your temperature down. Mix everything in here. Now the trick is you put a lid on it. You can even pop it off the stove if you wish. I let it come to a real strong sizzle at this point. Even on low temperatures, you'll still hear the sizzling. Make sure the heat stays inside, and then as soon as that sizzle gets really hot, I push it back off of the stove. I'll even leave this on low so that when I want to heat it back up again, you can throw it back on. But right now it's really softening up all the vegetables. It's making that meat slowly cook. It's going to cook all the juices into the vegetables, and we'll give it another stir in a minute. Vegetables are fully cooked through. It takes maybe another minute or so. You want to leave the lid on the vegetables to keep them warm while the rice is finishing off. Once the rice is done, you're basically ready to plate everything up. Those vegetables should be nice and tender if they're not thrown back on the heat for a little longer. You put a little bit of rice right in the middle of your plate, pour that stuff right on top. That is your end product right there. Very nice, very delicious. You always have a little juice in the bottom of your pan. You want to add just a little bit to the rice and to the dish. And there you go. Stir fried made simple. Alright babe, enjoy.